Well, hello and welcome, fellow teachers. I'm so glad that you decided to do a teaching video. We're going to have lots of fun. So from one teacher to another, I'm going to give you some advice and some tips that teachers use to do a really good job teaching their students. The first thing teachers are prepared. They need to have all their materials ready before class starts. So when you're teaching, of course, you're going to need your sort. And you're going to need that all cut out and all ready. Okay, that's going to be really important. Other tools that teachers use a lot are dry erase tools. So for me as a teacher, I have everything right here, like this. I've got my board right here. And I actually also have this other board right up here on the wall. But that's not necessary. If you have a small one, that's going to be more than fine. Other things that you might need for teaching this is you might need some tape in case you are going to do it up on the wall or something like that. And you might want to stop and think about what other materials are you going to want or need for your class. The next thing that you're going to have to think about is that this is not a live class. You're going to be recording it. And this is what I think about, and the other teachers do too. How are you going to do it? Are you going to record it just like this? Are you going to be looking at your students like this? Are you going to be looking at the camera? Because if you're doing that, that's cool. But what you're going to have to do is they're not going to be able to see what you're writing. So if you're doing it like this, you're going to have to, if you write something on your board, like if you write down S, H, and SH, don't forget to pick it up and show the camera what you're doing. So you're going to need to do that. Another option is you could tilt your camera down like this, and it's upside down, but that could work if you need it to. And another option is you could go like this and prop it up against something and hold it so we can see what you're doing. There's another option too. Sorry, I'm not making you dizzy, teachers. Another thing that you can do is if you do have a wall or something that you can write on, you can tilt your camera to face that wall. You might have a dry erase board, or you might have paper, or you don't even necessarily need that. You could just use a wall to do it. And so that way what you would be doing is you'd be standing up here and you'd be teaching your video, and you can still look at the video and still show your work like that. So I want you to think about what kind of angle you're going to be using to film. You have to decide that too. The next thing you're going to need is some students. I do not have anybody in my house who wants to sit and listen to a word work video. Jonathan is not into it, and Jakob is busy. So I found some other friends. These are my students. So you could get stuffed animals, are great students. I've got Digger the dog, Iggy, the inferring iguana. These are my reading buddies. This is Jabber, the reteller. And this is Hootie. She's the questioning owl. And so you can line up your students and you can act it out. You know, as you're teaching, you could call on them. So I could say, okay, Digger, for this next one, this is a shirt. Do you think that it's going to go in the S, H, or SH column? And I could pretend like he's talking, or I could even go like, very good, Digger, this goes in the SH column. And you could put it like that. So, I mean, you might have people in your house who want to sit and listen to your video. Pets are kind of tricky, and little siblings are kind of tricky because they tend to get up and run around a lot. So that's the next thing you have to think about. And the final thing that you want to do as a teacher is you have to find your teacher voice. Pardon me. A teacher speaks slowly and clearly, and the teacher always thinks about what the students know and what they still need to learn. The teacher never assumes that they already understand the lesson. They teach it step by step and take their time to make sure that they're really explaining things very clearly. Okay, so those are some things that I want you to think about as you're planning your teaching video. I know you're going to be great. You're going to be great. So again, think about, before you do your video, what teaching materials do you need? How are you going to film it? Who are your students? And that teacher voice. All right. What do they say on sets? Lights, camera, action.